Hey guys, welcome back to Valkyrie Tarot. I'm going to be doing some more additions to the Twin Flame series that I did previously. Those of you that are on the Twin Flame journey, you probably are because you're watching this video, you need answers. I need answers. I needed answers. Still working through it. I'm going to be really honest. I am not the be-all, end-all in Twin Flame dynamics here. But I am trying to educate myself so that I can understand how I can grow and heal in this separation that I'm in to help out my my counterpart. Okay, so if you're here, hopefully this is going to be helpful to you as well. I've been reading a lot. There's information all over the internet, honestly. What I find actually most valuable is being able to talk to other people who are also in this dynamic. We all have things that are different about our unions, but we all have things that are the same. And when you look at them, you can kind of pick and choose and, piece together the puzzle that's in your head about why you feel this way, why you can't let this person go, why you can't get them out of your head, even though you're not together. So this is going to be a video on some of the stumbling blocks that we all hit. And this one is going to be about wearing masks in your relationship. Forgive me, my throat's a little off. I just got done with having surgery last week, so I'm still on medication that really dries me out. So you might be seeing me sip some coffee every once in a while, just to help with the voice. So wearing masks, what do I mean by that? We're not in a masquerade. We're not walking around like Phantom of the Opera trying to figure out who everybody is. What it is our masks are our ego. We are born into this. We develop our personality through our life experiences, and we get very comfortable behind that mask. It becomes who we are because we've been validated by people our entire life telling us, yes, that's who you are, because it's the only one we show. But the truth is, most of us, specifically those of us that are on the Twin Flame journey, are old souls. Or our souls have been recycled enough times that we kind of aren't as superficial as younger souls. That means we have layers. Layers of emotions, layers of boundaries, layers of walls to protect ourselves because of not only the trauma that we've faced during this lifetime, but the trauma that we've faced in past lifetimes too. Okay? Now, before I lose you on the past life journey here, odds are if you believe in twin flame unions, you've probably thought about having past lives as well. If you don't believe in past lives, that's totally fine, but stick with me a little bit, okay? We are humans, DNA structure. We have evolved through a millennia, okay? We have grown, we have learned how to get out of trees, make tools to drive cars, okay? We have evolved in this ecosystem that is planet Earth, that is Mother Earth, over generations. How do we know instinctually how to do certain things? It is the DNA memory that has been mapped into our cellular structure that helps us do that. So whether you believe in past lives or not, we do have a structural DNA memory that sits with cells. This can be proven with science, okay? If you put a cell, a stem cell, on a plate, it will develop into something. You can influence it by putting it with a stem cell or a cell of another organ or something, and it will start to create a heart. It'll start to create skin tissue. It will start to create whatever it has been influenced to create, because there is a cellular memory, there's a cellular map inside of every cell in our body that helps us do that. The same goes for our twin flame journey. That energy, that mapping is a part of us, okay? So whether you believe in past lives or not, doesn't matter. It's in our DNA to try and find the same frequency in this lifetime. When we find the same frequency, we have balance, okay? Do you ever notice when you meet someone, you instantly don't like them? You don't know why. You just don't like them. You don't want to be near them. Can't stand them. You can't explain it. You just don't like them. Maybe they were in a past life, or maybe their frequency doesn't match yours. When you meet your twin flame, Your frequencies are the exact same pattern. Okay, it's like you've gone your whole life cycling through radio channels and through old dial TVs, dealing with snow and trying to rearrange antennas. For all of you that grew up with TVs with antennas like I did, you're trying to do that, but you meet this person and oh my God, you don't have to adjust anything. All of a sudden, everything is the same. Everything is easy. Everything is even, and you feel this balance and this connectedness to this person that you've never felt with anyone before in your life. You've met your twin flame, okay? So why do we wear masks? Let's rewind here. Anytime you meet someone, we always put our best self forward. I'm sure you guys have all heard of this, okay? It's the same thing where you go on an interview. You want to put your best self forward. You want to sell yourself to this other person. With twin flames, it's a little different. We come out like that, and all of a sudden, we realize, oh my God, I dropped my mask. I gotta put it back on. And we do it over and over again in the relationship until we feel comfortable enough to take that mask off. If we're breaking it down, what are the masks that we wear? For the divine masculine, okay, and if you need to know more about the divine masculine, check into my other videos. But the divine masculine isn't always the guy in the relationship. It's just the one that is more into their masculine energy, okay? They're more stable. They're more secure. They're usually stronger. They're the protector, okay? They may have a job that has to do with protection or building or providing structure, okay? These people hide emotion. Something in their life taught them not to be able to express emotion effectively. Either they were told, don't cry, it doesn't solve anything, or don't ever show anyone how you feel. Emotions are weakness. Okay, those things were probably drilled into them when they were a kid, and it became really hard for them to express how they felt because the expression of an emotion was weakness. And if you were weak, you were ashamed that you weren't strong enough. So you learn how to hide your feelings, and you push them away and you repress them because repressing them is way easier than trying to understand them, okay? A lot of the times, the divine masculine has not been brought up with tools, the right tools to be able to express emotion properly. So because they can't express it, they don't want to deal with it, so they try and push it away and forget about it and hope that it will get better, right? This also can be tainted by a need to feed the ego. The divine masculine hides in their ego. They are comfortable in their ego. The ego is strong. It is constantly being told, hey, you're great, man. Oh, hey, you're attractive. Look at you. Who wouldn't want you? Hey, you are so successful. Everything that you've been doing, good job. Keep up the good work. Oh, you make a lot of money, right? Look at that phone you have. Look at that watch you wear. Damn, you dress good. The ego feeds the divine masculine. And those of you that know the twin flame journey, the ego needs to be dropped in order to find union. So this is why it's always hardest for the divine masculine to come back into this union, because they're fighting the comfort of their ego. They're fighting the mask that they have worn their entire life. And it's uncomfortable stepping out of your comfort zone. Believe me, I know. So now we flip to the divine feminine, okay? The divine feminine, again, doesn't always have to be a female, okay? It just means that you express more of the feminine energy within you. These people were brought up being able to express emotion, okay? They have multiple avenues of being able to express. When they're angry, they express it. When they're upset, they express it. When they're happy, they express it. When they are confused, they express it. Almost to an irritating point. I'm sure some of you in the divine masculines that are watching this are like, yeah, it's effing irritating. I don't have to be reminded of every emotion that my divine feminine has. But the divine feminine was raised to be able to express that. And in expressing their emotions, they're looking for validation from their counterpart because their mask is hiding their insecurities. Their mask is hiding their low self-esteem because they look at their divine masculine and they put him up on this pedestal and they think that this person can do no wrong. And they're amazing, they're strong or beautiful or so perfect. And we look at them and we say, I can't be perfect enough for this person. I need to be perfect. Trigger type A personality, trigger the anxiety of trying to control everything to make it perfect for this person, because if it's not perfect, you're afraid this person's going to leave. If you're not perfect, you're afraid they're going to see that you have this insecurity inside of you. You're afraid that they're going to see that you're not as confident as you presented yourself as. And if they see that, they're going to think you've lied to them and they're going to leave. And the divine feminine fights this because their ego is defined by how people see them as well. Okay? Ego's on both sides here. The divine feminine's ego, though, is based on the validation of their feelings in someone else. Whereas the divine masculine, their ego is based on the validation of how people see them and perceive them. Do you understand the difference? So what happens is the divine masculine wears this mask. And the need for that mask is to defend themselves and to keep people at a little bit of a distance because they're afraid to let people completely in. They're not sure if it's safe to let people in. They don't know how to strip themselves out of the armor of the knight gear that they wear and stand there. They're afraid of that because what happens if they're rejected? The divine feminine, on the other hand, wears this mask to maintain a need for closeness, to maintain this desire for the other person to stay. Because they are afraid that if they're too vulnerable, they'll be rejected and the other one will leave. Are we picking up on the similarities here? They're just expressed differently. See, the fears are the same on both sides. The divine feminine just expresses it through anxiety and fear of losing the other one, whereas the divine masculine expresses it in frustration because they feel trapped. They're afraid to lose the other one, but they're more afraid to lose themselves in loving the other one. Okay? So this whole thing creates this push-pull dynamic, or the runner-chaser dynamic, whatever you want to call it. Divine masculine starts to drift away. The divine feminine gets triggered. Their anxiety comes into play and is like, ooh, wait, where are you going? I didn't mean to upset you. I don't understand why you're being distant. Can you just tell me why you're being distant? I will fix it. I will fix it. I promise you I can fix it. The anxiety starts to take over the divine feminine. The divine masculine starts to go, what's going on? I just need some space. Calm back down. I just need some space. And the divine feminine's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry. I messed up. I can't control my emotions. I do whatever you need to do. I love you. Just go. Do whatever you need to do. And they're lying because they are not okay with you leaving, because everything in them needs that closeness, needs that connectivity. But the more they need that, the more the divine masculine starts to push away. Because the 3D, the ego, tells the divine masculine that they will lose their independence. They will lose who they are if they give in to this relationship. Whereas the divine feminine is willing to give up who they are in order to maintain this relationship. Both of which can cause problems, right? This push-pull dynamic is just inflated with ego, okay? The divine feminine, the strength that she has, and this is something the divine masculine doesn't see, the strength that she has is that she is able to burden the emotion of both the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's strong, it's intense, it comes in waves, it's uncontrolled, because they've never had to feel this ever in themselves, let alone the energy from somebody else. But that is what the divine feminine is here for. They are the container for the emotions for both sides, because they know how to express it. They know how to understand it. So the divine feminine, more often than not, is the intuitive one. They can see through the mask that the divine masculine wears. They can see through the lies of, you keep saying XYZ about me, but I'm over it. I've been over it since it happened when I was 13, whatever. But they're not. The divine feminine knows that. So they pick and prod slowly to try and help the divine masculine purge this emotion. And when this emotion comes out, guess what? The divine masculine doesn't purge it. They pull away because they don't know how to deal with it. And it's left energetically for the divine feminine to deal with. As this goes on, they both start to feel consumed by the energy, and it starts to almost like cause a rift right between them. Not only between them energetically, but within their psyche. As a divine feminine, I can be the first one to tell you, I literally felt like I was going crazy. My divine masculine said those words to me, and I was offended. But I realized that on the outside, that's what it looked like. I had no emotional balance. I had no emotional center because all I felt was this whirlwind, this hurricane of emotion going through me. And I couldn't get to the center to see what was happening. I was so stuck in the runaround and trying to keep things perfect and keep myself perfect that I didn't just give in. It causes an emotional exhaustion, causes a mental exhaustion on both sides. Both of them want to stay in their comfort zone, but they don't know how to walk outside of it. And I can tell you, just like the Fool card in the Zodiac, in Tarot, taking that blind leap of faith, all of the pressure releases. I took it, finally just gave into it, and everything just slowly started to make sense. Found my center again. Yes, the emotions still come in waves. The abandonment that I feel, that I'm sure my twin flame feels too, was a huge catalyst for change. Let me repeat that. Abandonment creates a shift in awareness in both parties. I felt emotionally abandoned. As a confession here to the world. But I'm pretty sure my twin flame felt it too. Because I couldn't deal with what I was feeling anymore, and I needed space. I needed space. I needed to push away. I needed to run. Because I had been chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing. I was exhausted. I needed a break. Maybe I didn't say it right, because ego, but I just knew I was hurting my twin flame. I could feel it. I could feel the pain that the other person just didn't know what else to do. They didn't know what to do, so they pulled away because they felt like they were hurting me, and they couldn't offer me that emotional support that I needed because they didn't understand how to give it, because it just seemed messy to them, and my lack of emotional control reminded them of the emotions inside of them that they didn't want to feel yet. So it made it really easy when we blew up at each other. I said I was done chasing. And my divine masculine said, there's things they just can't come back from. Things were said. Hurtful things on both sides, because twin flames know how to trigger each other better than anyone. We know exactly what to say. And something that the divine feminine, those of us out here probably aren't exactly proud of, is that we know what we're doing. We step outside of ourselves because we can't control ourselves when we're in our anxious hurricane stage. But we're constantly testing the boundaries that our divine masculine has put up. Because we are like a poor person outside of a castle in the winter, begging for a place to sleep safe through the night. And we have to find a way to get through that drawbridge and get over that moat and then get into the castle, and then go through another door, and another door, and another door, and another door, because the divine masculine has built up this fortress around themselves. The divine feminine, it's exhausting. We just want all the doors to be open. And every once in a while, the divine masculine opens a door. And we walk through it, and we take advantage of it. Because we're like, yes, finally, they're letting us in. And then all of a sudden, the divine masculine's like, oh, wait. Nope. You're a little too eager. The divine feminine needs to learn how to chill the fuck out. Sorry for my language, but we do. That's something that's definitely come to me through meditation, through talking with people, professionals, because let's face it, anxiety is not something that's an easy fix. It's a lifelong issue for people. And sometimes we need a little bit more help than we can get ourselves. But once you get control as a divine feminine, you feel that balance within you. You feel your heart chakra still connected to your divine masculine. And every once in a while, you feel that rush, that heat still come back. You know you're still connected, even if you're in separation. But the important thing to do when you're in separation is to step back, realize what you could have done differently, realize what your divine masculine actually needs. Your divine masculine doesn't need you pushing their boundaries. Your divine masculine doesn't need you lying about your self-esteem, or your divine masculine doesn't need you to be perfect. We're all flawed. Your divine masculine probably flawed as well. You just have built this image of them up in your mind that they can't do anything wrong. But as a divine feminine to another divine feminine out there, step back. Breathe. Let them breathe too. Even if the ending seemed sudden, even if there was pain, if you guys are truly twin flames and you are putting the work in that you need to on yourself to help balance yourself out, they will come back because they will feel your energy the way you feel theirs. They'll feel the balance between the two of you again. The universe pulls us back together. We may try different relationships. We may look for these qualities in other people. We may just be like, oh, I just can't deal with the intensity. I'm going to try and find someone else that's like them. But it'll never be them. No one will ever be your twin flame. Energetically, it's impossible. Because no one else has the same structural, spiritual DNA that two twin flames share. And once you've been bonded, there's no turning back. There's just moving forward. And if you're lucky enough to reunite with your twin flame, if your twin flame works through their shit, drops their ego, and you work through your shit and drop your ego, and you come back together, you have a chance to come back together. I beg of you, I implore you, be your authentic self. It's so hard to be because you're afraid the other person is going to reject you. But the truth is, we all have emotion. We just express it differently. We all have anxiety. We just control it differently. We all have ego. We just have different needs. And with any relationship, it's finding a way to meet halfway. So I hope that helped some of you out there in Facebook. I'm not putting it on Facebook, but maybe someone will. YouTube world. If you have any other ideas for videos, shoot down in the comment section below, and I'm happy to help you out. Till then, my fellow twin flames that are watching this, hang in there. 2020 is coming. You know what they say, hindsight's always 2020. But there's a lot of energy coming our way. A lot of healing had to happen in 2019 for us. 2020 might be exactly what we need. Till then, deuces.